Welcome back to our channel that updates the most exciting developments of our popular TV series The Young and the Restless. Here, we not only provide the latest news, but also bring you dramatic stories of the show. In today's article, we invite you to follow a new chapter full of surprises and breathlessness in the journey of Claire, a strong, proud girl who also has to face a bitter betrayal from Kyle, the man she once trusted. And behind it all, the shadow of Audra, a calculating and ambitious person, gradually appears in a cruel plot that can shake both Newman and Jabot. Claire used to be a symbol of rebirth, a woman who overcame the darkness of the past to look to the future with the desire to be loved, to be trusted and to live a meaningful life. When she entered into a relationship with Kyle, she thought it was a reward for years of pain and loss. He was the only one who made her feel safe, who spoke sweet words, who held her hand in her weakest moments. But it all turned out to be a false mask, a perfect role in a play that Claire did not know she was the victim of. Audra, with her sharp beauty and cold intelligence, never accepted defeat. After being removed from positions of power in Newman Media, she quietly rebuilt her power by pulling Kyle back into the game. Using charm and manipulation, Audra gradually brought Kyle into her orbit, convincing him that they could make it big if they knew how to exploit the loopholes in the Newman Corporation as well as the simmering conflicts within the Abbott family. Kyle, who no longer believes in being a good guy, begins to throw himself into Audra's scheme as an outlet for his wounded ego and never-ending ambition. Claire is not blind. She recognizes the changes in Kyle. He is often absent from home, gives vague excuses, becomes distant and gradually loses the tenderness that once touched her. But what really wakes Claire up is when she discovers a leaked internal document from Newman Enterprises that Kyle himself has access to. She secretly investigates and gradually realizes that the secret meetings between Kyle and Audra are happening more often than she thought. The times they appear together at events, the complicit glances, and especially the secret transactions related to stocks, all gradually link together into a terrible truth that Claire cannot ignore. In a moment of unbearable suspicion, Claire decided to follow Kyle and found him meeting Audra in a private conference room at a luxury hotel. Through the cracked door, she heard every word Kyle said, cold, calculating, and full of betrayal. He referred to Claire as a pawn on a chessboard, that she was too naive to realize she was being used, and that her presence was only to distract others from the real relationship between him and Audra. Claire stood frozen. Her legs were shaking, not from fear but from the anger that flared up from the bottom of her heart. It was not just an emotional betrayal, but also a cruel insult to the self-esteem and trust she had placed in Kyle. Claire did not make a fuss. She did not confront him, did not question him, did not ask for an explanation. She turned and left, leaving everything behind. That same night, Claire moved out of their once-home apartment, packed up all her belongings, and erased all traces of Kyle from her life. She chose to leave quietly, but it was the silence of a brewing storm, a storm that would sweep away all those who lied, were cruel, and were greedy. Soon after, Claire officially announced her resignation from all roles at Newman, citing personal reasons. But behind the scenes, she embarked on a journey to expose the full extent of Audra and Kyle's scheme. With a sharp mind and burning determination, Claire sought out those who had been manipulated by Audra, gathered evidence, and even set up secret meetings with major investors who were skeptical of the corporation's finances. She contacted Adam, who had his own motives for taking down Audra, and formed a tentative alliance, based on fragile trust but a shared goal. Claire is someone who knows that the truth cannot be revealed by words alone, but by undeniable evidence. She secretly enters the data storage room, collects recordings of internal meetings, extracts doctored reports and discovers a stock manipulation ring involving offshore accounts, owned by people close to Kyle and Audra. When everything is strong enough, she holds a secret press conference at the Grand Phoenix Hotel, where a series of documents are released, making both Newman and Jabot real. Victoria cannot ignore the clear evidence. Nikki feels liberated after months of suspicion without being able to find the truth. The board of directors quickly meets and decides to suspend Kyle and Audra indefinitely. The two become the subject of discussion throughout the stock market and leading financial newspapers. Kyle, who once stood proudly at the top, now faces absolute isolation. His allies have turned against him, his family has disappointed him, and worst of all, he has lost the only woman who has ever been true to him, Claire. She does not need to take revenge with anger. Her success, her standing firm after everything, is the most fatal blow that Kyle never expected. Audra is not free from the law either. The documents provided by Claire open a wide-ranging investigation, involving many other names in the financial world. Audra is detained for investigation, and her glamorous image has completely collapsed. As for Claire, she does not return to Newman, nor does she seek to return to the spotlight. She spends her time recovering, while opening a foundation to protect women who have been manipulated in personal and professional relationships. From a victim, Claire becomes a symbol of strength and awakening, a woman who not only overcomes pain but also knows how to turn pain into a weapon. The story of Claire, Kyle and Audra is not necessarily over. But one thing is clear, all lies will be exposed, and justice, even though it comes late, will still find its way to shine. Thank you for watching until the end of the article. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the fascinating stories and dramatic developments full of surprises on The Young and the Restless.